who is the informal sector, and also what is the role.
I'm very pleased that we have a very good friend of ours at the community level. It's clearly, as you demonstrate, by the localisation of those goals, and you very much I think the issue of having women more issues. I'm very glad you highlighted that. I'd like to ask my colleague from UNDP to join me for reports.
Based on local government and the private sector.
Regional cooperation and local economic development. Today, the challenges of economic development and the demands of societies is growing at a pace that is faster than the last century. Delivering the demands is the challenge of national governments as well as local governments. In this area, my subject of water, I think, is very important in every regional as well as local government areas. Water lies at the heart of everything that is important for human life: food, sanitation, energy production of goods, transport, and the biosphere. Water ensures not only mere survival of humans but also social well-being and economic growth. In addition, water is renewable yet not exhaustible resource. It cannot withstand constant over-extraction and being depleted faster than being renewed. What is more, water cannot be substituted. According to World Economic Forum Global Risk 2013 report, the global freshwater demand is projected to exceed current supply by 40% by 2030. These are problems that our region as well as local government will face. Thus, increasing competition, stress on water, posing a significant risk and impact on food, energy, industrial and human security around the world. While population grew fourfold in the 20th century, demand for water grew by 9 times. This situation will create significant economic and political challenges. World Economic Forum Water Initiative states that in Asia, for example, agriculture currently uses 70% of annual global freshwater withdrawals and up to 90% in some parts of our region. Governments across Asia will need on average 65% more fresh water for their industry and energy sectors by 2030. Water plays an important role in community development and prosperity of a country and a society. While 4.3 billion or so people live in Asia and the Pacific, people in the region only have access to 38% of the world's fresh water. As a result, Asia Pacific has the lowest regional per capita water availability in the world. This could influence the economic growth of the region. South Asian region is unique in terms of diversity and culture. It is home to a population of 1.6 billion people. When we meet today to address the issues in relation to economic development in region, water and sanitation also is a key issue to be addressed. Without access to safe water, 737 million people without access to proper sanitation also lives with us. The task of providing improved sanitation and water for all is undoubtedly a daunting task, given that the resources needed is manpower, funds, diversity of technology for challenging conditions, and immense and difficult to secure nationally as well as locally. Therefore, our region has the highest population density, which is single most stressful factor preventing the sustainability of natural resources. One of the main limitations in sustaining water supply is inadequate water availability due to insufficient infiltration of rainwater into the soil. The springs or wells which supply water dry up during dry season, causing severe shortage of water to the respective communities. In many parts of Sri Lanka, we have just gone through one of the most severe and the worst drought situation in recent times. Lack of vegetation, depletion of forest cover in the micro catchment causes most of the rain to run off and relatively a small percentage of water to enter the soil. This can be attributed to inadequate maintenance of the micro catchments of the water sources, causing the soils dry up in the short periods. Hence, it is necessary that micro catchments are maintained properly, which has to be addressed regionally with cooperation, nationally and at local levels. Predicted changes in climate will exacerbate the problems of water availability, climate variability, water resource management, economic development are intricately linked. Vulnerability to natural disasters affecting water supply hampers economic performance and undermines poverty reduction goals and achievements of the MDGs. Dear friends, provision of safe water supply and improved sanitation to the rural areas has formed major challenges to national governments in the world, and more particularly in developing areas. Besides building new infrastructure, safeguarding existing and future infrastructure to meet growing demands of safe water and sanitation. In order to meet this challenge, I would like to mention my ministry undertook the implementation of 2 large-scale community water supply and sanitation projects in 13 districts of Sri Lanka with financial assistance from the World Bank. JICA, Government of Sri Lanka, and also assisted with various international bodies related to local government and participating beneficiary communities. Projects were designed to achieve set objectives by integrating safe drinking water, basic sanitation, hygiene education, environmental programs, diversifying community activities. Involvement of communities is a leading paradigm for water supply development and management at all levels. Participation of women in community water projects is a vital to success, since they are the key managers of household water. There are many successful CBOs which are managed by women in our country, across our region. The concepts of community participation and promotion of appropriate technologies became established as a part of efforts to meet the optimistic targets of water for all, in line with His Excellency Mahinda Rajapaksa, President of Sri Lanka's declaration of his vision for the future. Community-based organizations facilitated by a ministry supply water needs of around 3.4 million people through 3,500 rural piped water supply schemes and small town water supply schemes. They obtain water from various sources such as village tanks, springs, protected and unprotected shallow wells, deep wells, hand pumps or motorized pumps. These can be supplemented by techniques such as rainwater harvesting through roof catchments, which serves around 42,000 households in Sri Lanka at present. Thus, CBOs play a very important role in supplying water to a significant proportion of any population. Community-based organizations are responsible in our country for the construction, maintenance of water supply schemes. Community participation covers labor costs, around 30% of the total cost of construction of the water supply scheme. Technical support provided by the National Water Supply Drainage Board and the National Community Trust, along with the local government institutions of the area. The community water supply schemes have many challenges. Among these are changes toward participatory development, lack of adequate financial and technical capacity at different levels, scarcity of suitable water sources, and poor water quality too. It is very important that the quality of water supplied is satisfactory. We have recognized monitoring water quality is critical to minimize health risks. Ensuring water quality standards has become a major challenge in most of the community supply. Water sources management issues must be addressed at the local, national, and an appropriate regional and international levels. All stakeholders, including government, international organizations, private sector, civil society, academia, local government, should be engaged in paying special attention to the livelihoods of the poor and the most vulnerable people. Water management choices must also be consistent with other government policies and vice versa. All the while, social, political and economic decisions must be made in a way that seeks to balance and fairly distribute the allocation of natural resources while keeping in mind of the biophysical limits of the environment. Dear friends, similarly to interest community water and local government, at this time, in addition to the return of the electoral ward representation, is the provision for duly constituted committed community group activity in the local government elections bill that we have got through. This provision, which would be far-reaching in bringing local governance closer to communities, provides a new resource for local authorities to engage the communities in matters such as water supply, in fulfilling primary objectives of ensuring comfort, well-being of communities. In other words, development and prosperity. Supportive of follow-up of achieving the objective of the segment on community water and local government. In other words, for local government to assert and establish leadership in owning, managing, operating community water services are the significantly improved resource base in educated and skilled staffing, accommodation and equipment, wherewithal that have been established at local authorities over the recent years or are being established with prevalent sense of purpose. For local government to be strong, proactive, purpose-oriented in attending to the needs of the communities and in economic development. Finally, I will also draw the attention to the livelihoods of the poor and the most vulnerable, as I mentioned before. We need to revive the existing laws and legislations on water at local level and national level. We need also implement laws at all levels, from grassroots to local governments, national and some instances at regional and international levels. Water and people should be given consideration in the national policy. New laws should be brought about to encourage community participation in the water supply projects. More attention should be drawn to water quality issues, especially in the light of in our country we are facing chronic kidney disease issue in the north central province and growing in some parts of the country owing to the polluting factors of chemicals that pass through the water sources also. Water sources should be protected with due attention drawn to the protection of the rainforest. I am sure this conference will give an opportunity for regional and economic cooperation and other cooperation in many aspects in local government for our country Sri Lanka along with the Asian neighbours as well as with the Commonwealth that we share many achievements. And with the experience that we have gained from other Commonwealth countries will also help in advancing our economic cooperation that could be developed in the region, as well as better practices that could be won to our local government that needs that gives the grassroots step that would bring economic prosperity in a nation. I wish the conference all success, and I wish all of you all a happy stay in Sri Lanka. Thank you.